So you're trying to get past anxiety. You've read the books, watched the videos, done the breathing exercises. You've tried talking yourself down and reminding yourself that those physical sensations aren't a direct threat, but still it feels like you're stuck. Well, in this video, I want to talk about why anxiety recovery can often be less about the things we tell ourselves and more about the questions we ask ourselves. And there's one question in particular we need to ask first. The chances are it's one you've never actually asked before. Hi, I'm Tim Box, mind coach and anxiety therapist, and for more than a decade now, I've been working one-to-one with clients, helping them get control of their anxiety response. And one thing I've noticed after working with thousands of clients is this. Anxiety recovery isn't just about the stories we tell ourselves, it's about the questions we ask ourselves. When a client sits down with me for the first time, they can usually describe in vivid detail how anxious they feel. They know what triggers them, what sensations they get that tell them they're anxious. They know how bad it can be when it's at its worst. But ask them what they'd rather feel, how they'd prefer to respond in those moments. Very often, they draw a blank. And this is often the problem, the reason why they haven't yet changed. Because knowing we don't want anxiety is not the same as knowing what we do want. It's a bit like getting into a taxi and when the driver asks where you're going, you just say, not here. Well, guess what? Unless we have a destination in mind, that taxi isn't going anywhere. This is so often the fundamental problem when we're struggling to create a change in the way we think, feel, or behave. The lack of a preferred destination to focus on. We're trying desperately to get away from anxiety, but we haven't defined what we're heading towards. And if we're just trying to avoid a feeling, guess what happens? We focus more and more on that feeling as we continually check to see if it's gone. And there's that very simple rule, what we focus on grows. It's like putting a speck of dust under a microscope. What's tiny and benign suddenly starts to look like a monster. Then of course we start reacting to it as if it is a monster. When we make getting rid of anxiety our goal, we end up scanning constantly for it, like we're on patrol, hoping not to find it, but terrified that we will. It's like checking the house for intruders 20 times a day. You're not making yourself safer, you're just keeping yourself in a constant state of threat. So there's a very simple shift we need to make here. Instead of trying to simply feel not anxious, we need to instead ask ourselves a very simple question. And it's so obvious, we often forget to ask it. The question is, how would you rather feel? In those moments when you currently feel these high levels of anxiety and think those anxious thoughts, how would you rather think, feel, or behave? Maybe the answer is, I'd rather feel calm or confident or capable. But the simple fact is that if there's an emotion we want to avoid feeling, then we'll end up spending all of our energy and focus checking how close we are to feeling that emotion. If we know how we'd rather feel, then we can simply move towards that feeling and direct our focus away from the unpleasant one. And even if we don't feel ready to jump straight to that new state, simply defining it starts to shift things because suddenly we're no longer just running away from anxiety, we're heading towards something better. And the funny thing is that when we know where we're heading, the barriers between us and that place become a lot clearer. So we might notice those barriers come from old ideas, things we've assumed as true for a long time and simply needed to re-examine and reassess their accuracy or value. So for example, maybe we had early experiences where we felt unsafe or unsupported and we're still carrying those expectations into our adult life. Maybe our self-esteem has taken a few knocks over the years and we've stopped believing we can cope with life's challenges. Maybe we've just always thought of ourselves as the anxious one and didn't realize we were allowed to feel differently. Or perhaps somewhere along the line, we've been given a diagnosis. We were told we have anxiety, and now we expect to feel anxious anytime a challenge comes our way. That kind of thinking wires our brain to anticipate anxiety, and the more we expect to feel it, the more likely we are to create it. When we add that to the undeniable truth that as a healthy human being, anxiety is an emotion that we're meant to feel every single day, it's easy to see how any old story we've been telling ourselves about our limitations and vulnerability might become unnecessarily validated and strengthened. The simple fact is that if we're trying to simply aim for not anxious, then we'll inevitably fall short. Anxiety-free is not part of the human experience. So we need to give ourselves something better to aim for. That way we can stop focusing on anxiety as if it's the thing we need to run from. Trying to escape anxiety doesn't work. Running from a feeling that we will inevitably experience just keeps us running. But when we pause and ask ourselves, where do I actually want to go? We get our power back. That's when we stop simply reacting to what we don't want and start moving towards what we do want. That's when recovery actually begins. It's not about pushing anxiety away. It's about stepping into a new way of thinking, a new way of responding, and walking towards it step by step. And the very first step is asking the right question. But what about you? Have you simply been trying to feel not anxious? Have you ever asked yourself the question, what do you actually want instead? Does knowing this approach now help? Let me know in the comments below. If you're finding these videos helpful and want to go deeper on this journey with me, then check out the members area of the channel. You'll get access to exclusive content, my full Clear Your Head anxiety relief program, my control system for personal change, and of course, weekly live Q&As where I answer your questions directly. Just hit the join button on the channel homepage or follow the link in the description. But that's all for this one. Let me know in the comments what your answer is to that big question. How would you rather feel in the moments that currently make you anxious? I'm Tim Box. Always remember, be kind to your mind. I'll see you next time.